Hello, my name is Ben Irwin,
And my name's Joel Pearson.
and welcome to our new podcast, Ben and Joel Reviews. This is a weekly podcast where two best friends talk about movies, TV shows, theatre, some embarrassing stuff,
A lot of embarrassing stuff.
and just have a really good laugh along the way. It took us a few episodes to find out what our niche was, but it wasn't until we recorded, I believe it was either the third or fourth episode, we realised that we enjoy reviewing things, and so that is what this is. So without further ado, please sit back, relax, and let's dive in. How have you been this week?
Pretty good.
Anything in particular, or?
Well, obviously we had the excursion yesterday to go and watch The Motive in the Queue.
We did, yeah.
With Mark, which was truly wonderful.
It was amazing.
Work's been work, as per usual.
Yeah,
but
work is work.
managing to find time in between to actually relax and enjoy life. So, yeah, pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. Yeah, again, pretty decent. And again, I loved yesterday seeing The Motive in the Queue. That was a really lovely time, and I've enjoyed a little bit of time off.
Good.
So, yeah.
Very much deserved.
Yes, not been too bad at all. So for this episode, Joel and I decided to take a little trip down memory lane. We thought it'd be good to discuss how we met, how we became friends, and how it's all led to us doing this podcast. Because even though Joel and I, we have day jobs, against our will, it's not a choice. We have to, because we have to make money, we have rent to pay, we have bills to pay. But I suppose you could say it's a thing that's on the side, but I don't like thinking of it like that. Yes, we do these jobs to make money, but that's the only reason we do them. However, at heart, Joel and I are actors, we are writers, we're directors, and we're now podcasters.
Yeah.
And
we're multifaceted.
We are. And this all started at school, because Joel and I have known each other for nearly 12 years now.
Yes, a long time.
Really long time. And it almost felt perfect to do a podcast with Joel, because it's not something that you could just do with anybody, especially if it's somebody you've only known for a short amount of time.
Yeah, you definitely need to be doing it with the right person.
Exactly. And because Joel and I have known each other for so long, we just get on like a house on fire. We're always on the same page. He's always felt like a brother to me.
Oh, you're too kind.
It's true. It just felt perfect to do this. And I believe it was back in 2012, wasn't it? When we first met.
It was.
When we auditioned for a school production of Hairspray.
Yes, it was.
What was your audition like? Because we didn't meet at the audition.
No. As I recall it, they did sort of group auditions en masse. Like split boys and girls. So we were probably in the same room.
Probably.
We just probably didn't cross paths. And then there were a few, not everybody, I think only those people going for certain roles got private auditions. And I had no idea what I wanted to play.
Yeah.
I had no character in my head. At the time, I'd not even seen Hairspray. So I didn't know the source material.
Oh, right.
But we were told as part of our GCSE that we had to audition because it was part of our grade, so it was really important that we audition. And I remember the teacher had come to me and said, "Oh no, I know exactly what I want you to play. I want you to play Wilbur. I've got something in my head." So I read the script and I was like, hang on, Wilbur's got a song. Wilbur sings. And so I went back to the teacher and I'm like, listen, I have never sung on stage before and I'm really apprehensive about this. So he's like, if you want me to do it, I'll do it. Are you sure? Because you don't seem like you've got much to go on. I don't think you've ever actually heard me sing. You might be making a really fatal mistake. And she was very, very kind and reassuring and said, no, trust me. I know what I'm doing. And if you need some coaching, we can get you some coaching. It's fine. So she's like, so will you audition for Wilbur? I was like, right, yeah, fine. I'll do it. And that was the only one that I auditioned for because it was the only role that I had any vague sense of.
Yeah.
What about yourself? How do you find the experience of auditioning? Sorry.
It was absolutely nerve-wracking. I mean, still to this day, I hate the audition process.
It's brutal, isn't it?
It's always really nerve-wracking. It's really awkward. I'm always at my worst when I'm auditioning.
Yeah, I find that.
And I always think, please give me the part, because I swear to you, on the day we start working, I will give you 100%. It's always awkward auditioning.
Especially when there's so many people in the room, or like, earwigging at doors and stuff. And if you're just kind of getting into the character's shoes for the first time, you kind of want a bit of privacy.
And I was doing something for GCSE, and the teacher came to me, and she was talking to me about the show, and she said, very similar to you, she said, there is a character I really want you to audition for, and it's the character of Edna. And I was like, oh wow, okay. And at this point, I'd never played a big part before, so Edna was my first big role. And I came to audition, and I had to sing, and I had to do a bit of acting. And it clearly worked out because I got the part in the end. I remember I went to the audition with a mate of mine at the time who auditioned for Spritzer.
Oh, yeah. I'd forgotten that.
Yeah. And he got the part. He got it. He showed up to like the first 2 rehearsals and then just stopped showing up. So the part had to go to somebody else.
Yeah. I remember actually who they replaced him with. He was a younger kid from a year group, a lot younger than us. He was quite shy, if I remember.
He was shy, yeah.
He was a really nice guy, but yeah, he was very, very quiet and very kept himself to himself. I actually remember at some point in the rehearsal process, the teacher had asked, like, just go and just chill out with him for a bit, because he just looks like he's only having a bit, and just, yeah.
She sent you?
Yeah, me of all people, I know. What was she thinking?
Just walks over, hi, I'm Joel.
Hi. But the structure of how our school was, there was an upper and a lower, and at the time we were in upper, and the musical took place in upper. But this kid was from the lower portion, so didn't know anyone in the room really.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that being quite a scary experience for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy though.
He was, yeah, really nice, and he gave a good performance with the part he was given. But we didn't meet until the read through.
Yeah. Oh, the read. I'd not even put that in my notes. I'd forgotten about the read through.
Yeah.
I was myself.
Same
for that read through because I'd never ever done anything like that before. I'd never been I'd done a couple of amateur things, but not a lot. And, the probably biggest role I had was a wise man in a nativity. I'd not really done a great deal. And so suddenly being thrust into this room with, like, loads of people you know, people you don't, and you're expected to just perform. And it's no secret that I have quite high anxiety. And at the time, that was, like, just sending me through the roof. And my stomachs were in knots and my nails were on edge. And I felt sick being sat there. And I think it was only sort of once we kind of got through that first scene where I sort of started to ease into it and go, oh, okay. We're sort of realising we're all here to do the same thing. We're all going to look a bit silly.
Yeah.
And that's when I sort of started to relax and actually started to enjoy myself. How did you find it?
I was quite similar. I was myself, and my anxiety was through the roof. But as soon as I started reading my lines as in character, and I was making everyone laugh. As soon as I started making everyone laugh, that was when I got a lot calmer.
There's always a reassuring thing when you can actually, sort of light up the room with a line delivery or something.
Yeah. I mean, throughout the process of that show, I received a lot of bullying for it. There were people. There was one kid that walked by me and went, "Oh, you! You're a right f***, you are."
And nothing has changed.
No. I was just like, oh, okay. And I looked to a mate of mine, and his response was just, apparently you're a f***. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, at the time, it made me feel really shitty.
Yeah.
But looking back now, I just think it's so funny because I was never insecure. I mean,
never.
No, people that would come and say that, because he wasn't the only one. There was another guy that was like, well, I'm not coming to watch that gay shit. And it's just like, oh, okay, well, that's up to you. And it's like, you guys are clearly very insecure with yourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always those people that are always the ones to take digs. But it's funny you mentioned that, sort of not being fazed by that kind of thing and sort of having the confidence to tackle it, because that was sort of the first impression I had of you. You were very chatty, You were
I
very,
was, yeah.
you were very upbeat, and yeah, people were kind of roasting you a bit for playing Edna, but
Little
you were
bit,
just
yeah.
sort of letting it roll off and be like, yeah, well, I'm on stage more than you.
I think the main inspiration for it was when I watched the movie, and it was watching John Travolta play the part, and seeing him in other movies like Face Off.
Yeah.
Which is, I suppose, if you're somebody who's like into toxic masculinity, you can say that's a man's film.
Yeah.
And then you watch him in Hairspray where he's playing a woman, and so I'm like,
totally different.
yeah, and it's just like it's not a comment on his sexual. He's not saying that, oh, this is who I am. He's just playing a part.
Yeah.
And that was the same thing with me in the show. It's like, no, this isn't me stating it. I'm not announcing anything. I'm just playing a part, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's so fun to play a woman like her in that kind of show, and it's funny. It's just funny. Wearing a wig, fake
Yeah.
a fat suit, and a dress, and pink slippers, and eventually high heels.
Yeah.
Holy shit, they took some time to get used
I
to.
can imagine.
But
I can imagine.
yeah, it was just a really fun time, and that was the show that made me want to be an actor.
Was it really?
It was-
Is that
yeah,
what
it was-
solidified it?
Yeah,
Oh, that's quite sweet.
before that, I did do other amateur stuff with another drama group, but I was never certain, and it wasn't until Hairspray and we did that made me think, oh yeah, this is what I want to do as a career.
I don't know if I could say the same. Probably. But I think my sort of realisation that, yes, I actually want to do this was either already there or a lot slower. You know me better than most. So you know how critical of myself I can be. So if I miss a cue or get the staging slightly wrong, I absolutely grill myself.
Yeah.
So even though in the back of my head I had this idea of this is what I want to do and this is where I want to be, because of that overcritical nature that I have, I'd be like, yeah, but I'm not worthy of it. And I think it was probably doing Hairspray when I actually did it. I mean, I'm not going to beat around the bush. We smashed it out of the park.
We did.
We did so well. And it was suddenly that rush of, oh no, I could do this. So
Yeah.
that probably was where I felt like I was worthy of it.
Yeah.
And it very much helped to have such a very talented onstage wife.
And vice versa. I mean, I don't think I could have had a better actor to play my husband in the show. And this was the show that solidified our friendship.
Yeah.
Specifically, Timeless to me.
Yeah.
That whole sequence.
Our teacher definitely knew what she was doing, putting us two together.
Yeah.
She was concocting some magic there. I was actually weirdly thinking about a later thing we did where there was like an in-school Oscars and we won Best Partnership. And we are really living up to that award.
We really did. I forgot about that. Yeah.
How did you find the rehearsal process with me?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I think at first, the first few, because obviously at the time we'd only just met.
Yeah.
So I was still getting used to, not just you, but with the whole cast, with everyone. Still getting used to it. But the more we did it, the more excited I was about doing it. And I would get up in the morning knowing that I'd have a rehearsal after school in the afternoon with you, and I'd literally chuck everything on and I would just run to school and just get through the day, and then I've got rehearsals. It's going to be great.
I distinctly remember growing with confidence the more time went on. I think the best rehearsal was when we showed people how we'd staged Timeless for the first time. That was good because everyone was so hype and really supportive. Yeah. And we got some good feedback.
And they found it hilarious. Everyone was laughing for the right reasons.
Yeah, and it was so good being in that rehearsal room. I also recall sort of later stages of rehearsal being very, very ill. So we had the Easter break at school.
Yes.
Sort of, was it the weekend towards the end? They'd opened up the school so we could have a full day of rehearsal.
Oh, yeah.
On was it the Friday?
I think it was the Saturday.
The Saturday, yeah, no, you're right. But I was really, really ill. And I was ill for the show week as well, if you remember.
I don't remember this.
I was bad, like, so I think I had a chest infection and I had quite a bad cold, so it was really hard to perform.
You just forget to turn your mic off, or we can hear you backstage going,
oh! Yeah. And because I'd not been getting a lot of sleep because I'd been ill, I'd slept in on that Saturday morning and I got a call from our teacher saying, like, get yourself here, Ben's waiting for you. It's like, you used you as a guilt trip. was like, yeah, I'll be there soon. And like, all the way there, I'm thinking, oh, I've let Ben down. Ben down.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, the only night that was filmed was the Friday, and that was the one that I think got the biggest reactions from the audience.
Yeah, from one person in particular. Your dad.
My father.
He was quite rowdy. I don't even think it's at the end of Timeless. I think it's at the end of Welcome to the 60s. You can hear him, if you just listen hard enough, you can hear him shout, "Go on, son!"
Yeah. I mean, any part that was funny, not just with me, but other people in it as well. If there was any part that he would find genuinely funny, I'm not even joking. Everyone else would be laughing, but you would hear him very distinctly going, "Ha!" And it was just,
Yeah.
like, and I'm pretty sure there was like someone who came backstage. I think it was the guy who played Seaweed. We'll get on him in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And he came backstage and he went, "Who's that person laughing really loud?" And I went, "Oh, it's my dad." And he went, "Oh, sorry."
While you mentioned the comedy of the piece, I mean, your dad being the anomaly, obviously, a lot of the jokes don't land.
That was something else that I put in my notes.
Yeah, it was quite jarring. So it's quite nice to have that one bastion of, I'm going to laugh at all of this. But he did laugh at all of it, but sort of having that hearty laugh out there in the audience was really reassuring.
I think another reason why the jokes didn't land was because the actors didn't understand the joke. So because of that, it affected their delivery.
Yeah, it's a multi-layered thing where you've got the American accents which don't sound right.
Oh, they were awful
on any of us, and they are so jank. Then you've got the American jokes written into the script, which go over a British audience's head. And then you've got that third layer where a lot of the jokes are based on sexual innuendo, and you've got to remember it's a school play.
Yeah, these are kids.
Like in Mama, I'm a Big Girl Now, where she's like, would rather play around with teenage boys and want bigger men.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not even of age.
No. Bit questionable.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been worse, and I think it was handled well enough.
Yeah.
But there is that little unsettling part when an innuendo comes up where you go, oof.
There's a bit where, what was it? Tracy looks at Link and she goes, "And Link, you could get arrested for what you did. Only for a space in the back of the cab, I swear." And again, my dad went, "Ah!"
And do you know, funnily enough, I as a cast member I don't think I got half of those jokes.
No, I don't think. No, nor did I.
And now watching it back, I understand them, and I go, I am not reacting to that line properly.
No. Do you remember when a teacher tried to make us kiss in Timeless to Me?
Was it the music teacher that I'm thinking of? Yeah, that was weird because they were being really forceful about it.
Yeah.
I think let's say we were doing it today and it was a more professional production, we probably would.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd hate it.
That's what I.
But,
and we'd have to get paid.
Yeah, but it being doing something more professionally, absolutely. But like, we were school kids.
You were 15 and I was 16.
Yeah, just grabbing the back of our heads and trying to force them together. Like, just kiss. Just one little smooch. Come on.
I've been dying for this. But it was when we were in, because I believe we were in the music room and we were going through it with the music teacher, and it was just us three. And we get towards the end and we sing that final note, and she goes, "Oh, it'd be great if you two look at each other and you just give each other a little kiss." And I was like,
I'm
not comfortable with that.
No, that would have been too far. I do actually, having watched our performances back, I think we still sell the husband and wife dynamic, but I think we could have been more affectionate.
Yeah.
It was the first time we'd ever done anything of that scale.
And plus we were so young.
Yeah. So I'm a bit forgiving of that.
Yeah.
That's the point, yeah. We hit it off so well that even if there wasn't a rehearsal scheduled, we would meet up and rehearse.
Oh, yeah, we would, yeah.
Do you remember? We would rehearse on our own time because we were that into it and we were that hype. and excited to do the show that we were like, yo, no, we're going to nail this. I think that's probably why we, like, our song Timeless did so well, because of how much time we sank into getting that little section right.
Definitely.
Worked hard.
That got the biggest applause of the night.
Yeah.
We got massive
and
cheers.
That isn't just our ego. We have proof on
We have
tape.
the recording of it, so
Yeah.
it definitely got the biggest one of the night.
So, this is not to do with the show at all, but on the recording, do you have a physical copy, a DVD copy?
Somewhere.
Yeah. There are these weird-looking titles at the beginning.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looks so jank. It's like you could have just faded up and the show started, but it's like some weird kind of credits that just looked so bizarre.
Yeah. Also, the poster of the show,
Oh my gosh, the poster.
it looked horrendous.
So, you can jump in and correct me if I'm wrong here, but
Okay.
I do believe the poster was the poster for the Hairspray movie.
Yep.
With our heads really badly cropped and warped over the top of the other actors.
Yeah.
And it looked a bit, and it was everywhere. It was all round school,
Yeah,
wasn't it? It was,
yeah.
You could not escape this thing, and it looked so stupid.
It just looked terrible. It was a teacher who, I think she was a media teacher, but she left not long after designing the I don't think that's why she left.
Oh, could you imagine if that's the reason?
Could you
Yeah.
imagine? You call this a poster? Get the out. But yeah, oh my god, that poster was awful.
In the first number, Good Morning Baltimore,
Yes.
Tracy is in an upright bed.
Yes.
How stupid did that look? But I think that's because for this production, a lot of the props were made in-house.
Yeah.
So a lot of the tech people, the woodwork guys and what have you,
Pretty
created
much
a lot of the
handmade
props.
everything, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, in the show, in the film, that is how it starts. So they needed the bed. But for the most part, the sets and those little furniture pieces they had were pretty good. But just the bed looked so out of place. It looked like it could have fallen apart at any moment. But like the painted set at the back with the rainbows and the Hairspray logo was really cool. I remember the record stand.
Oh, that Corny Collins goes on.
No, the Corny Collins little stand was bizarre because then Corny was just kind of getting wheeled about the stage and it just looked really silly. But in a fun way, like I suppose it is by design silly. The record stand for when they're at Maybell's, the store. I loved that piece, and I think that was the only part of the set that actually stayed put together, if I remember.
Yeah. The fat suits were very questionable.
That was kind of my next point. It just looks like you've just shoved a pillow up your shirt.
Yeah, because our bellies are big, our chests are big, but our arms and legs are very, very skinny.
Yeah, very skinny. Tracy's is worse than yours, I think.
Yeah?
Obviously, like, Tracy is supposed to be a larger character, and looking at it on the stage, that does not come across. I mean, obviously you pick it up from context and dialogue, but the actual physical silhouette is just not right.
Yeah.
Corny Collins couldn't sing.
Most of the people in the show couldn't sing,
That is absolutely true. I mean,
including us.
Yeah, we were bad.
We were bad.
There were one or two people that absolutely could. The main three being Penny, Amber, and Tracy.
Yeah. Velma could sing.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of where it stops. Oh, and the Rockettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motormouth.
Oh, yeah. No, so there's probably more than I remember.
Yeah.
Motormouth was a fantastic singer. A lot of soul to it.
Yeah. God, I had a big crush on Penny.
Oh, I'd forgotten that. Oh, it's all right. I've had my my cast crushes as well, but I don't think I'm going to divulge them in a public forum.
I don't care.
No, I've got some. I've got a story or two, but they will remain nameless because I'm not painted in the best light. Upon your entrance, in my notes, it's just in all caps, Ben. Followed with, looking sexy in that charity shop gown. Like, damn.
Oh my god.
Which brings me to the point, the costumes were so bad. There wasn't much of a budget for this show. So they had to do what they could to save. So a lot of the costume were sourced from charity shops, which is not unusual for a school production.
I think the only thing they bought in terms of getting it from a company, I think it was the wigs, and I think that was it.
That wouldn't surprise me. But that being said, I got very attached to my ugly yellow shirt.
I was so sad that we could never find that shirt again.
Yeah, I'd have loved to have kept it. I wish I had. I do remember, and I hope you still have one, to get a sense of how the stage looked, if we get it from house perspective. There was the sort of main stage, which was sort of painted with like rainbows at the back with the Hairspray logo.
Yeah.
And that was sort of where the Corny Collins show would take place, or the bulk of the show would take place.
Yeah.
There was a part to the right, which was just kind of like a door, and it was only really used when the staging called for it.
Yeah.
And then on the left, house left, was the Turnblad house, which was where we spent most of our time.
I think I know where you're going with this.
And on the set, on the back wall, there were 3 ducks.
Yeah.
Sort of those sort of like old decor things where it's 3 flying ducks that are arranged diagonally.
Have you still got it?
When we took the set down, we took off the ducks together, and I took one of the ducks, and I still have.
I don't have any.
Ben!
I know, sorry. I don't know where it went.
No, those things are easily lost because they were just made of paper.
Yeah.
They were genuinely just made of paper and just stuck to like stage flat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still have my duck.
Aww.
I could even, if we went on the recording, I could point out to you which duck it was.
You still know which exact duck it is?
It was the middle duck. Yeah. Sad that I remember that.
No.
Okay.
When you were referring to my entrance, for some reason I thought you meant the entrance where, what is it, when Tracy's at Motormouths and everyone's running in, and then I come in and I'm running in, and then I go, oh, Tracy, it was you I saw. Wilbur!
Yeah, that actually caught. I'd forgotten about that entirely, and that genuinely made me laugh. That was really good. Oh, anyone for chicken and waffles?
Oh yeah, classic.
This is jumping ahead, but I think it's probably worth mentioning now. That scene, the dialogue in that scene, I had very little. There's not a lot of dialogue for Wilbur in that scene because Wilbur's not the forefront of it. It's not about him, obviously. It's more about how everyone's starting to come to terms with how we're going to deal with this race problem. So obviously, the white man in that scene needs to kind of fade into the background. But I did have a few lines of dialogue, and I remember not really knowing how to handle them. I don't think I grasped the severity of that scene until later on. So that's probably the scene that makes me cringe the most upon rewatch.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good segue into another topic. And again, we might be going ahead.
We can jump around a little bit.
But you said, speaking of white man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So there was...
I'm going to let you explain this.
Okay. Not a lot of black kids auditioned for the show. There were a few. Motormouth was black. There was a few other people in it who were black. But no one auditioned for Seaweed. And so, almost as like an emergency, they gave the part of Seaweed to a white boy and gave him blackface.
Oh god.
How the did they get away with it?
Do you know what's worse is the fact that none of us questioned it at the time.
I know. It was just we just kind of accepted it.
We were just like, oh, okay. And then you look back and watch it and you're like, oh, that is so distasteful.
Unless no one knew. It was so convincing.
But, well, I think they chose Seaweed's actor purely based on his hairstyle at the time.
Oh, because he had an afro.
Yeah, he had an afro. That's a bit of a bad basis. But the thing is, Link was played by a woman, if you remember, because there weren't that many boys that auditioned for Hairspray. I think there was you, myself, Seaweed, Spritzer, Corny Collins. Were there any more? Because I think that's it. I think there were only 5 boys that even auditioned. Well, there were more that auditioned, but there were only 5 that were in the cast. So they cast a woman as Link. So why did they not do the same with Seaweed, I wonder?
What, as in casting like a black girl as Seaweed?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that would have made more sense.
Yeah, that to me seems like it's more logical. I mean, I suppose the people of colour in the cast were those that did have main parts were very, very well suited to their parts.
Yeah. The actor for Seaweed was not
no,
but for many reasons.
Yeah,
not just for that one.
So, like, Motormouth really nailed the casting on that one. I forget the name of Seaweed's sister.
Little Inez.
There you go, Little Inez. Cast perfectly. This is the real one sort of casting flub, Seaweed, and yeah, not right for the part. Very much hold in high regard the actor who played Seaweed. Was a very good friend in school.
Yeah, nice guy.
But yeah, not suited to that role at all. No. Because,
well, to state the obvious, he was white, but also he could not sing.
No, he was not. By his own admission, though, as well, he was not a good singer. Yeah, he was a very, very talented actor. And he could even bust a move a little bit.
I'm sorry. But when he's on stage and he's doing the what is it?
Oh, that little shuffle.
I can't just the pit place after midnight.
Yeah. It is bad, isn't it?
And also, I love the way he throughout the show the way he says "mama." He's like "mama."
Yeah, like
Mama.
like Forrest Gump. Yeah. Lovely bloke though, and I think we kind of formed a little trio.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, which was nice, and that carried over, I think, into Beauty and the Beast, which we'll talk about later on. But we also had more people join our little group.
Oh yeah,
which was quite nice. But we'll get to that in due course.
Should we talk about like on stage mistakes? Because there were quite a few.
There were. I can't. This is going to sound dreadful. I can't really remember making any myself. I was f***ing perfect. No, but I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. So, as I said, there were quite a few mistakes during the show. One of them was during Seaweed's song "Run and Tell That," which was absolutely dreadful. And at the beginning, the characters are talking while the music's playing, but you couldn't hear a word they were saying because all you could hear was someone's mic overlaying everyone else's going, ooh. Ooh. And so, like, you couldn't hear a word anybody was saying, and one of the actors who's directly on stage looks backstage and is like waving their arms about like, I don't know what to do. What do we do? And that like there were moments where people's mics weren't working.
Yeah. The mics played up a fair amount. I actually remember there was a whole mic sharing scheme. Do you remember that?
Oh, vaguely.
So the ensemble didn't have mics. It was if you were a named character, you could have access to a mic, but there weren't enough mics to go around for named characters. So there were points where it's like, yeah, you might be able to make your cue, but have you picked up your mic along the way?
Yeah.
So there are points where either people, I think there's only one instance where someone who should have a mic walked on stage without a mic.
Right.
Well, I think you were one of the few that had one just constantly anyway, just
throughout the whole
because
show.
Of how present you are in the
show.
I
think all the big main characters had to have a mic throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. Thankfully, didn't have to give up my mic too much. I used to get very anxious when it's like make sure I get my mic back.
Yeah.
Make sure I get my mic back.
I could just see you holding one of the actors by their collars, pinning them to a wall. Give me the mic.
Where's the mic?
Joel, you're still on stage.
Sorry, everyone. But there are a lot of instances where people have either set their mic to the wrong channel or they just don't have it on. And there's points where like people are talking like, what are you saying? What are you saying? I have no idea.
I quite fancy a KFC. Should we get a KFC after the show? I think we should. Yeah. Oh, we should get some gravy with it as well.
No, sing quick! No. Yeah. Oh gosh. I will harken back to this later because you.
Oh god.
That's something from Beauty and the Beast I have to tell you, boyo.
Okay. So another thing, I'm just looking at my notes. So yeah, another thing that obviously when I was saying earlier that a lot of the cast, I think all the cast members didn't understand a lot of the jokes in the show because we were all so young at the time.
Yes.
There were also quite a few words and phrases that I did not understand.
Oh, give me an example. I know there were some, but I can't think of any like, off the top of my head.
So obviously I know these now, but back then didn't have a clue. Integration was one of them. Didn't have a clue what it meant.
You didn't know? Oh, okay. I mean, I don't think I actually knew. Like, I wouldn't have been able to recite the actual like Oxford dictionary definition, but I think I had a vague sense. A lot of the things that you'd say, like sort of when you're stood on the Turnblad house set, where you're like answering the phone or you're ironing clothes, and there's like conversation flowing. There are parts where it's like, I actually don't get that sentence because of certain words or phrases or Americanisms. They're the ones that trip me up the most.
Yeah.
The Americanisms.
I mispronounced a word. I believe it was just before Timeless to Me, and I'm on the phone to Mr. Pinky, who in this production was Mrs. Pinky, played by... I don't understand why you could just get a girl to play Mr. Pinky.
Yeah.
They did the same with Link. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a bit of a common theme, wasn't it?
Yeah. But one of the words I said was... I scarcely wore them twice, but I said it wrong. And it was the guy who was leading the orchestra. He looked at me and he was like, Ben, it's scarcely, it's not scarcely. I'm like, oh, okay.
He was an interesting man.
He was an interesting man. There's more on him I want to talk about for Beauty and the Beast, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll save that one. I'm quite critical of my own performance in my notes, I find. I actually liked... There's a part where you say teenage Jezebel.
Oh, yeah.
Your delivery of that was really good. I've written here, transitions. What? So, the scene transitions were so bad, and like some of them were like really awkward, where you could see people kind of awkwardly shuffling off stage and what have you. They needed work.
Oh god, yeah.
Like, the scenes themselves were great, but like sort of going from one scene to the next.
Ooh. Can you give an example?
It's at the end of forget where it was now. I think it's at the end of Nicest Kids in Town.
Yeah.
The first one. Where people kind of don't really know how to exit the stage. So they all just kind of look at each other and wait until someone makes the first move. And someone goes into one of the wings, and then all the other people are like, right, time to go. And then they all sort of part.
Oh, God, that brings me on to something else. That a lot of the people in the show looked like they didn't want to be there.
Yeah, which... On the flip side, Beauty and the Beast, it felt like everyone wanted to be there. But in Hairspray, there were people that definitely didn't. But it was an option. Well, for most people, it was an optional thing. I think I obviously had... We didn't have to do it per se, but they were like, oh, this is going to be really beneficial for your GCSE if you do this.
Yeah.
So we really kind of want to push you to do it. So, we had an incentive. But most people, it was totally optional. So if you didn't want to be there, why did they audition?
I think a lot of them genuinely did. I think a lot of them wanted to get involved and wanted to do it. But I suppose they didn't know how best to present themselves when being on stage. They weren't making it convincing that they wanted it to be.
Yeah.
In their heads, they're probably like, oh my God, this is amazing. But from the audience's point of view, they look so bored.
There's a lot of sort of arms just by the sides, and sort of people, you can kind of catch glimpses of people forgetting where they are. Where they're sort of staring down like, I don't have any dialogue or any choreography in this bit, so I'm just kind of going to go stand and fill the stage. And they're sort of looking at their own feet, and then suddenly there's a line which means, I might have to sing or dance soon or something. And then they suddenly stand upright and they're smiling again. Suddenly remembered the time a character, and there's an audience directly in front of me. But saying that, I think I was even guilty of that myself, especially in the protest sequence.
Yeah.
Where, again, that scene's not really about Wilbur. I just kind of fade into the background. And I really did just fade into the background. Yeah. I think I am sort of towards the back, just kind of stood a bit rigid, just like, I don't really know what to do with myself.
There were certain lines that you said that really made me laugh. I think it was the moment where you bring the can on. Oh, we need to talk about the can.
The can.
The can. The can. You come on with the can, and you're wearing a disguise,
Yes.
And Velma rips it off, and she goes, "You!" And you go,
"Damn."
That was brilliant.
I liked the sort of... I remember that being a really conscious choice, that particular delivery, because it was like... It was supposed to be quick, and it was supposed to sort of match the tone of like, "You! Damn."
Yeah.
Like, dun, dun.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like a bit kind of sing-songy, rhythmic. That was a real conscious choice.
I also found it hilarious when... Oh, what is it? When Tracy's announcing that she's going to storm onto the show, she's going to crash White Day, and she's going to make it officially integrated. And we're telling her how dangerous it's going to be. And it's just the way you say the line. You're like, "But Tracy, you could be right. Should you risk a career?"
Oh, yeah. No, at that exact point, when I heard that line, it's in my notes. I wrote, "I sound like a pimp." Should you risk your career? Oh, God. Oh. It's so bad, isn't it? It's so bad.
Oh, God. It's funny.
That was one of those moments where it's like, oh, no, I have to be a character now.
Yeah.
I have a line.
I think it's the other moment as well, like just before Timeless, where I'm like, "Oh, but how's that thing going to help our Tracy?" And you go, "You'll be surprised."
Yeah.
It's quite ominous.
Yeah. Why was I so southern? Like, I really had a drawl. Sounding like Benoit Blanc.
No! It's just dumb!
Like, that was a choice I made. The thing is, where is Baltimore? Is it in the south?
I don't know.
Google.
The power of Google.
Google will tell us.
While he's Googling, that I noticed there was a moment in the show, I can't remember which bit it was, but there's a bit in the show where within the audience you hear a child go, "I'm tired."
No.
Yeah.
Like, fuck this, I want to go to bed.
It's like beforehand you could just hear her sort of fidgeting and moaning like, "Stop it. I'm tired."
So were we. We were f***ing knackered.
We were shattered trying to entertain you.
Yeah. Ungrateful.
Just be the mother. Shut the f*** up.
Yeah, so Baltimore's in Maryland, so
Okay.
we could just about maybe justify having the accent that I put on.
Yeah.
Oh God, though.
I think that there were a lot of moments. I think that might have been due to the fact that a lot of the jokes didn't land, but there were so many moments that were like really awkward because there was always like a pause.
Like pause for laughter.
Yeah, and
no one's laughing.
No one would laugh, and so the actors would just be standing there, just looking at each other, and it's just like, oh God, just carry it on, just keep going. And
I think if you were ever part of any of those moments on stage, sometimes you could actually kind of hear the people like in the pause going. Like suddenly, like waiting, and then the side's like, and now I'll carry on with my lines.
I swear there were moments as well where the mics would just suddenly like spaz out.
Oh,
like at random moments, a mic would just go, "Ah!" And you're like, "Hell, what the fuck's going on?"
Oh, I actually think we cut our story a bit short.
Okay.
The for running till that.
Oh yes,
has quite the dramatic ending.
It does. So the girl who was playing this character, the one with the dodgy mic, the going, bless her. I don't know. I mean, I've not seen her in years, so I don't know if she still has this problem. But at the time, she suffered really badly with back spasms, and sometimes they would either come out of nowhere or they would come if she was very stressed. And due to the mic issue, our teacher was furious, and backstage she was having a go at her. I mean, really having a go at her. And I remember still being backstage, and I went under the stage because I could hear screaming. And under the stage, the poor girl was having a back spasm mid-show, and the drama teacher was kind of trying to help, but also looked really pissed off.
Wasn't she kind of heading up the stairs up to stage left?
I can't remember, to be honest.
But I remember it distinctly happening at the bottom of those stairs.
Yes.
Because, obviously, we have the interval, which I used to love the interval. It was a nice little chill break. Bit of fruit, bit of water, bit of chat.
Yeah.
It was nice. But obviously the show starts again, and we got the Big Doll House.
Yep.
Which is a great number. And then I enter because I'm supposed to have posted bail for everybody. And it was I remember this so distinctly because it was the only time I entered stage left. All my other entrances were all stage right, apart from that one. And so I'm coming round for my entrance.
What, will you come on and say I posted bail?
Yeah, it's my only stage left.
No, you went to stage right.
Wait, hang on. Yeah, no, sorry, I got it the other way around. Yeah, so no, actually, it's the only time I enter stage right, not stage left. Please forgive my lapse.
No, wait. There are other moments where you went to stage right.
Are there?
Yeah, when you run in and go, all right, a party. Anybody for chicken and waffles?
No.
Is it not?
No.
I might have to watch this back. I only watched it last night.
Yeah, same here.
But,
no, I'm telling you, whichever entrance it is, it's the only time I enter from that side. Let's not get pedantic about left and right. But so to get there, you had to kind of go under the stage from the other side.
Yeah.
And then there were some stairs that would take you up into the wing. And I remember, because I hadn't been aware of what was happening. I had no clue. And then suddenly there's this girl on the floor, just sparkode. And then there's a couple of paramedics sort of kneeling around her. You know, they've got an oxygen mask on her and everything. Mm. And I kind of look at the teacher and go, but I need to go up there. And she was like, yeah, off you go. So I was like, oh, okay. So I just
the show must go on.
This poor girl has been screamed at and is now undergoing screaming
on the floor
and medical treatment. And I just kind of had to casually just sort of step over her and just kind of gently nudge one of the paramedics out of the way. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, that's my cue. Sorry, excuse me. And you give her a little wave as I go past. Hello. And then make my cue. I wonder if anybody else noticed that one of the rockets had disappeared.
Probably. There were probably moments where someone was like, where's the fourth one? But then I'm amazed the paramedics came in without making a sound.
Yeah. Like I say, when I kind of went under the stage to go and make my hit my cue, I had no idea they were there.
No, nor did I. I remember seeing them, I'm thinking, where the did you come from? But yeah.
Like, oh, it's a wonderful costume. When's your scene?
I don't remember seeing this in the script. Have they added bits?
The protest is going to get really violent. They've called the paramedics.
And they're played by grown-ups.
Oh, no. In the second version of The Nicest Kids in Town, we're just kind of boffing along. In our little set.
Yeah,
just having a little vibe. That was quite cute. A lot of these are like sort of cringe lines, like, I'm a bad, bad girl who needs to be punished. So bad.
It was,
so bad.
It's bad.
Harmony's been out of sync. The Madison scene. I was so glad I wasn't in that because people hated doing that scene.
I mean, it looked awful.
Yeah. The staging was quite minimal, but it took a lot of people a long time to get it.
And again, the people who were in it just looked really bored. They didn't look like they wanted to be there. It looked like they were half-assing it.
Yeah, that was not a fun scene. What was your line when you first say the Mr. Pinky, like the Mrs. Pinky?
As in, Mrs. Pinky's hefty Hollywood quality clothes for quantity gals?
I'm so impressed that you nailed that. That was so
I'm
good.
surprised I can still remember it.
Yeah.
Holy shit. It's been over a decade. Sorry, I just noticed there was one note you put. Yeah, the gym was that meant to say what?
Yeah, what the actual
oh, okay. Because it looked like it just put woof. It just made me think of Home Alone. Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
Yeah, the gym teacher. That was an odd choice. I mean, I know that the gym teacher is written to kind of be a bit creepy, but it was a bit much.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny.
It did get quite the laugh, though.
Yeah. But I understand. What is it when she goes, who wants to take a shower? Extra credit! Yeah.
Welcome to the 60s. How was your costume change?
Holy shit. I was absolutely breaking it. Because halfway through Welcome to the 60s, I have a big costume change where I have to go off stage and completely change my outfit as well as my wig. And it is very, very quick. And then I have to run back on and then carry on the song. But I think it was every night I'd run off stage and I'm in character. I'm like, and then as soon as I get off stage, I'm like, I turn my mic off, and I'm there like, holy f***, please help me, getting the wig off, changing the outfit. I'm like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And then she's just going, can you please just calm down?
I can imagine it being really stressful though, because you had like what, maybe like a minute tops, and that's probably been generous.
Yeah.
I have also followed that note up with Ben in that pink dress, smash.
That was a nice pink dress.
It was a very nice pink dress. Also, this will sort of translate into Beauty and the Beast as well. Penny, also played Belle in Beauty and the Beast, was very, very clearly one of the most talented actors in that school.
Yes.
And, like, do you disagree?
I think she was certainly the most talented singer.
Okay.
By a long stretch. She was a good actor.
Okay. See, there's a lot of people, and for the most part, there weren't a huge amount of people that did both Hairspray and both Beauty and the Beast. But she's the most consistent across the two. As in, she's good in Hairspray.
Yep.
And she's better in Beauty and the Beast. Like, you can really track her progress. I can say the same for you. I can say the same for me. But there is a majority of people that didn't really improve in the gap between the two productions.
Yeah.
It was just something I wanted to note because I quite admired her progress. Very importantly, we need to talk about the can.
Yes, the can. Because, my God, I nearly died.
You did.
I had to stand...
It was my fault.
Was it?
No.
I didn't know this. I had to stand inside this giant Hairspray can that would then be pushed on by you.
Yeah, and then
was it two other people?
Two girls.
Yeah, one was on each side.
Who were so small and not very helpful at moving the thing, to be honest. I was doing most of the legwork.
I noticed that while I was inside and I'm being pushed on, I'm there thinking, okay, yep, nicely, yep, there we go. And then all of a sudden, I could feel myself leaning, and I'm like, holy shit, what the f***? And then I got pushed back. I was like, oh my God. And I'm sweating in that can.
I actually think it was Seaweed who saved you.
Oh, was it?
If I remember right, I don't know, but somebody definitely kind of ran away from where they should have been on stage to just catch it, push it back, and then ran back.
Oh my God! Well, if that's true, I'm very grateful for him because
that could have been another paramedic situation.
That could have been bad
on the stage.
You just hear a massive bang, and all you can hear is, oh!
You can't stop the avalanche.
I wouldn't go in there if I was you.
And you know, watching that ending sequence back as well, it made me quite emotional.
It's same with me. I was a little bummed that you and I didn't bow together.
Yeah, I noticed that, and it felt right that we should have done. Yeah, it's a real shame. But yeah, it really kind of made me well up a little bit. But in both instances, kind of made me well up because I really miss doing productions like that.
So do I. I miss doing productions like that.
And it's because of, those times where you meet people like we did doing Timeless that make those things so worthwhile and so really important and precious. And I'll use this opportunity now for anyone who's questioning whether they should join an amateur group or do the school production or anything like that. Just do it, because you know what? You'll have fun.
Do it, yeah.
And some of the friends you'll make along the way will be so important to you.
100%.
Especially if you're in the room with like-minded people. So
Joel and I met on Hairspray.
Yeah, and
that was nearly 12 years ago.
Yeah. So if you get the opportunity, and if it's something you really want to pursue, absolutely do it.
100%. And again, I loved doing those shows, and there's still memories that I will always cherish. And when I look at people who I'm true, because I do have a group of friends, but there's only a few who I'm really true friends with, and you're one of those few people. And so if I'd never done that show, obviously we never would have met.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be friends today. We wouldn't be doing this right now.
We'd be on the alternate timeline.
Exactly. So I'm extremely grateful for do it for being in it and getting to be a part of it and getting to rehearse with you and perform with you, because that really was some of the best times.
Yeah, it was an honour to share the stage with you.
Yeah, and vice versa. Guys, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you liked it, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel.
You can follow us on Instagram at Ben and Joel Reviews.
You can also follow us on Twitter, or X as it's now referred to, at B_J_reviews123. We'd also like to say a huge thank you to Bethany Thomas for designing the logos for our show, as well as Tom Bates for creating the intro and outro music. There will be links to their socials in the description below. We would not be where we are now if it wasn't for their incredible work and support.
Thank you so much, guys.
Join us next week, where Joel and I will talk about our experience taking part in the school production of Beauty and the Beast.
Take care.
Take care, my loves.